Hello guys, welcome to another video. So today we will be installing a backup domain controller to our existing domain. So I'm gonna do what I usually do. We go to a local server, we set static IP, change our time zone, stuff like that. So change the name of the computer. So let's start that out. It's gonna turn this off. Enhance security for the native browser. So I'm going to change my time zone to reflect my time zone. So in my case this will be Easter time. Okay. Next I'm going to assign a static IP, and I'm going to be pointing this to my BDC. So I got properties, IPv4 properties. So I'm going to set it to static. In my case this will be 192.168.1. that my BDC is 50, so I'm gonna name this 51. My subnet mask, that's fine, 255.255.0. My default gateway, that's going to be my router, 192.168.1.1. and here I'm going to point to my BDC. So I'm just gonna make sure it's 50. So here's my BDC, and it is 50. So I had to point my BDC to my BDC. So this is 50. This is correct. So this will be 192.168.1.50. Hit OK. Close. Disable. Enable. Can close. And we check for connectivity. So I'm gonna go to my CMD. A little lag there, it's okay. So let's test it out. Let's test this out. So ping www.google.ca. So we're getting reply from them, so that's working. So close that. And next I'm going to change the name of this computer or this server. So I'm gonna name it BDC 02. BDC stands for Backup Domain Controller, or you can name whatever name to reflect your whatever you're working on. So just click OK, and we need to restart for these changes to take effect. So we just restart now. So we enter our password. So next I'm gonna be joining the domain. So I'm gonna be joining a .local domain we created before, so we will be doing that. So we can join the domain from here, so we just hit in here, workgroup, change domain, and just type in whatever domain you're working on. So in my case, this will be my domain name .local. Click OK, and here you need to enter the credentials. So in my case, this will be my so here we are joined into our local domain. So hit OK, close, and we need to restart again. So let's do that. So here we need to log in properly. Remember, we joined into the domain, so we need to do that. So in my case, in order to sign into this domain, I need to type this format domain / and whatever your username you have set up as. So in my case, this will be my local domain / your username enter your password, then login. Alright, so next we will be installing Active Directory on this backup domain controller, and after that we will be promoting this to a domain controller, and this will be our backup domain controller. So let's do that. Let's wait for this to load up. So I'll roll some features, so we have to wait a little bit longer. Okay, I think this is loaded up. so we're good to go. So let's go to the dashboard, add roles and features, next, role base, next, select the server, so you select your backup domain controller, hit on next, Active Directory domain services, add features, next, 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 start a destination, yes, and install. Okay, so now we have installed Active Directory. So we just need to we just close this, or we can click on this link, promote this server to a domain controller. So let's do that. So we will be joining this to an existing domain. So as you can see here, it says add a domain controller to an existing domain. So this is fine. So if you have another domain, you can click on here, select, and here it'll populate whatever domains you have available. But in my case, I just have this, just one, so I just leave it that one, and then you can change this. Just double check that. Okay, so just click on next. So this is the name of my site. So in my case, I haven't changed the name, so I just left it as default first site name. But you have any other sites, you can choose your site here. So this is the directory server restore more, so just enter a password and configure a password. Click on next, click on next, and here I'm gonna be replicating from my BDC. You can choose any other controllers you have listed, but in my case I just have one. You can choose either. Since I only have one, so I just go next. I go next, review your configs, next. So here is running a validation system, so we just need to wait here a little bit. So it reads all prerequisites checked passed successfully, so we just hit install. And here is our backup domain controller. As you can see, we have a backup domain controller joined into our local domain. It's got static IP is pointing to our BDC, to our BDC, which has an IP address of .50. So let's double check that as well later. But first we need to modify some DNS configurations here as well. Remember, we promoted this server, so we should be seeing a DNS server on the left hand side somewhere here. So this is still loading up, so let's wait for a little bit. So here's our Active Directory domain services and our DNS. So let's make some changes to our DNS. So let's go to DNS Manager. So this is our backup domain controller. Let's check aging and scavenging. Let's set this to 1 or 2 days. Let's set it to 1 day. Okay. Apply. Okay. And also let's check our forwarders. So right click, properties, forwarders. And here you can see we have replicated this from the BDC. So that's good. So this is okay. We have a reverse lookup zone. We have our forward lookup zone, and we have also our forwarders. So that's good. So and that is how you set up a backup domain controller. So we also need to check that we are able to see this BDC on our primary. So let's go to our primary. This is my BDC. So I'm gonna go Tools, Users and Computers. So domain controllers. Here is our BDC and here is our BDC and our BDC. So it is listed here, so it's working perfectly. And that is how you set up a backup domain controller on Windows Server 2016. So the procedure is basically the same for the other editions of Windows Server. And that's all, guys. Thanks for watching.